In this week's GTA 5 O'Clock, the GTA 5 actors speak. Amazing insights into the making of the game with Michael, Trevor and Franklin. The latest updates on GTA Online, including when Heists and the content creator will be available. Plus, your best selfies, the Infinite 8 murders solved, and listen to the end for a sad send-off. It's another bumper episode. It's this week's GTA 5 O'Clock. Hi, welcome to this week's GTA 5 O'Clock. I'm Tim Weaver. I'm here with Dan Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Tim.
Dan, what have we got for the listeners this week?
Yeah, lots today. Big GTA Online update, including details of the 500k stimulus pack due to go live anytime soon. We'll be talking about the absence of Heists from online. We'll be talking about ways to spend your 500k. We'll be talking about car values, which is a guide coming up on the site really soon. We've also got new details on the Infinite 8 killer, murals spotted for Mount Chiliad elsewhere in the world. And then the big piece today is we're looking at is the appearance of the GTA 5 actors, Michael, Franklin and Trevor, but their real world aliases, at the Comic Con event. Not com, Dan, you idiot.
Okay, so we hope you're going to enjoy it. Please do subscribe, like, all the usual stuff. Follow us on Twitter, GTA VO Clock. Dan, let's kick things off then with GTA Online. That really seems like the best place to start, given everything that's happened.
Yeah, good news. I mean, maybe not universally for everyone, but it seems to be working now. Like, I'm playing on PS3. I rarely, if ever, have fundamental problems getting online or getting into games. It's just stuff like waiting for lobby access and the things you associate generally with online play. The further good news is that Rockstar have confirmed that all of us will be receiving a $500,000 Rockstar dollar stimulus pack, which will be released in two 250k bundles, and will sort of be as a thank you for say sorry for everything that's gone wrong. The bad news is Rockstar have admitted that people who have lost characters, that those characters have effectively gone for all time, which I guess is the truth we all secretly knew.
Yeah.
But now, like everything in life, we're going to buy that pain away.
Yeah.
Now, buying stuff is a double-edged sword, because you do need reputation to unlock the best goodies, but with money you can still buy some pretty sweet houses.
Yeah, see, I was going to say 500 grand in online for people who perhaps aren't as familiar with the economy. How far will that be able to take you?
It'll buy an absolute load of trousers, hats.
Yeah.
You can really bling your character up. I mean, like even an expensive pair of jeans is like sort of $500-600. So, $500,000 is an awful lot of money. So if you want to just go purely for aesthetics, that's going to take you a long way. Now, it will go less far in terms of car modding, but then to be honest with you, a lot of the really good car mod stuff. Come on, Dan.
Dan, come on. Pull yourself together.
I'm having problems with my vowels. Problems with my vowels. Just get that right. You need to unlock certain RP levels. So as a result, you're not going to be able to spend all that cash on like sweet exhausts and engine upgrades and bulletproof armor and all that stuff until you've played a lot more and ranked up a lot more.
Yeah, because people who maybe aren't as familiar with the economy might be thinking 500 grand, that's awesome. I'll be able to go out and buy a really great apartment.
Well, yes, that's the good news. You can do that. So you can go out straight away with your 250k initially and buy a pretty spanky and nice apartment. Like, if you'd have watched our GTA Online live stream last Friday, you'd have seen us trying desperately to scrape together cash by conventional means in order to buy a crud ball apartment with a semi-coastal view, which when we bought had ripped carpets and seemed to be inexplicably burning.
It was a real up-and-comer down there.
Yeah, it was definitely a doer-upper, a fixer-upper. Make your own stamp on this property, as they might say. One to leave your mark on. So, I mean, that was a bit of a crud ball, but for 300k, certainly you can buy one of the really nice sort of skyscraper-style properties. Something a bit more coastal. You're talking about ones with inbuilt garages for 6 cars, pretty swish pads. You can invite your friends in, watch TV, smoke a bowl, and do various other fun things together. So that's going to be quite a nice little kicker, I think. Now, I actually got into it. This is a slightly an aside, but people will enjoy this who watch the live stream. I managed to start talking about economics on Friday.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Just caused some consternation in the community. But some guys have been actually arguing with me about how economics works.
Right.
And I was saying that obviously if we all got a 500k uplift in the real world, it would cause a degree of inflation. Now one guy really took umbrage and said no. It wouldn't, because as long as the value of goods produced is so boring. But bottom line is, I was right.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because if we all got 500k tomorrow and we all try to buy the same house, we'd bid higher for that house and prices would rise. But in Rockstar's world, we don't, because we all get the property.
Good. Okay, so we sorted that out again, proving that the economy and economics is really quite dull. Dan, what else in the world of online has come up this week?
Some people have asked, what is the confirmed DLC for GTA Online? Well, there are actually some pieces that Rockstar have confirmed through the newswire. There is the content creator, which is it's launched with tools to tailor and publish your own deathmatching races. And now all these packs are free, by the way, it's worth stating. So all this is to come. I guess Rockstar didn't want to introduce new DLC into a world that was already fraught with problems. They're going to wait till things stabilise. There's the Beach Bum Pack, which features, it says, 4 new amazing beach fun vehicles, 300 new items of incredible down-tempo leisure wear, and 2 new but not remotely relaxing weapons.
That's quite good.
So I don't know what they are, but they're something pretty fun.
Yeah.
Then we've got Capture the Flag, which
is
GTA Online's take on the classic Capture the Flag mode, including the ability to make your own using the content creator. Whether it's create your own flag.
I wouldn't... I don't think it literally means create your own flag, does it?
Doesn't it? No. I would just say if you were allowed to create your own flag, it's probably going to be covered in willies and bumps and all those various different things. Now, finally, and this is the thing everyone's asking about, heists. It says this update will introduce full-on cooperative heist missions that require careful planning, teamwork, and sharp execution, along with a heist planning board for your apartment. So maybe Rockstar will give us the money to buy apartments and then give us planning boards and we can all do heists.
Well, they couldn't have introduced that really at a better time, given that everyone who's had problems with GTA Online is now going to have 500k in their bank account at some point, and therefore probably buying an apartment, and therefore bridging that initial gap that would have been around in GTA Online, which was from where you start to the point at which you can afford your first apartment. People won't necessarily have to worry that much, because obviously you couldn't have planned heists until you've got your planning board. Yeah,
so it does remove that barrier to entry of having to schlep around the world or really heavily hit certain missions for ages to get 100k or whatever it would be. So that's really nice. And Tim and I saw a heist in action when we went to see GTA Online unveiled in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And that was probably the highlight mission of what we saw, where there was 4 of them, Tim, was it?
Yeah, 4 of them, yeah.
And they met in a guy's apartment, the really swish apartment we'd seen at the end of one of the GTA 5 trailers. And they were talking, they went to ammunition. They land an ammunition in a helicopter on the helicopter roof?
Yeah, they had a helicopter, yeah.
They mega tooled up, and then they flew in the chopper as a team of 4 to the Los Santos Commercial Airport.
Yeah.
And this was really nice, actually, because they were all coordinating and chatting on the headsets, and then they did a piece of formation skydiving.
Yeah, well, 3 of them did, yeah.
Yeah, 3 into the ground. Yeah. And what was also good is the guy stayed in the chopper, so he acted as point man, shouting out instructions to them, and the 3 of them on the ground were talking and coordinating about the best plan of attack.
Yeah.
And they had to retrieve a cargo Titan plane from the aircraft against lots of AI guards, Merryweather guards.
It was a great mission, really good mission, and gave a taste of what's to come. It's really exciting that they're going to be opening that out, and it's really exciting to be able to see in the very near future what the content creator allows people to do. Talking of missions, I thought I'd have a look on the social club this morning and just have a look at what people are playing, and the 3 most popular missions, just out of interest, I thought this was quite interesting, is Cypress Flats Last Team Standing mission, the mission Crooked Cops, which did we play that on a live play, or we played it together at some point?
Yeah, I can't remember when, but we have played it.
We have, yeah, but that was great. It's where you've got to try and, there's several teams, and you've got to try and retrieve some sensitive data from a police vehicle. From the other team, and the police are chasing you and trying to get it back. And then in third place was Beacon Theatre. Now, brilliantly, I haven't put this on my notes, but I can't remember whether that was a last team standing mission as well. I think it might be. But yeah, so Cypress Flats top mission, 6.2 million plays, Dan, which gives you an idea of the scale of people on this, in this world, and why perhaps Rockstar might have had some problems coping with it. Crooked Cops 3.1 million, Beacon Theatre 2.9 million. The top racing mission was Sonora Freeway, which has 2.2 million plays. And then interestingly, the lowest rated mission, i.e. the one that had the least amount of plays, was one of the wave-based survival modes, Sawmill Plant, which had just 117 plays. It was published 25 days ago, so that makes 4.7 plays a day. Not a lot. And in fact, the Horde mode game types made up the bottom 6 places of the least played missions, which suggests that people aren't so into their Horde modes, but they definitely are into last team standing.
Is there any RP caps, do you know, on those modes that mean that they're just actually harder to physically access? 'Cause when we tried to do a survival mode on Friday in the live play, we needed Mr. Trophy to play because he had the requisite RP level.
That's a really good shout. I didn't actually look into that. That could possibly explain it.
Which might be part of it, and I guess they're higher commitment, harder things to do. But yeah, in fact, the survival missions or the Horde missions are some of the biggest cash payouts. So if you can get to the right level, they're the stuff that's worth putting your time into.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that's slightly annoying, and was expected, is that a lot of people will go to any length to get as rich as quick as they can. So they're sort of like farming or spamming certain missions and exploits just to cash up, and being like, you're always going to get that, and even in any real economy you're going to get that. So
yeah, I think you're probably right actually about those wave-based games. They probably are locked to certain RP levels.
And Cypress Flats, which is the biggest played, I know, is like essentially one of the first things you get to do. So, but even then, it does show that's where people are putting all the time in, and it is a huge difference between 6.2 million and 117.
Yeah.
Quite a difference indeed.
Next, Dan, people walking underwater.
Yeah, people doing a reverse Jesus in GTA Online, and it's another weird glitch in the wonderful world of GTA Online. Apparently, if you drive your car underwater and get out of your car, you will emerge on the floor bed of the ocean as if you had lead feet.
Right.
And you can walk around and like hang out and chill, underwater. Now you'll see various images of that on the screen as we speak, maybe even a cheeky video. It's weird. It's another glitch. When we saw Rockstar, they sort of said the water sections won't be a big thing in GTA Online for now. So it almost sounds like they haven't fixed what they're going to do with water yet. Apart from that, you walk under the water.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we thought we'd, just before we go on to talking about what happened at New York Comic Con last week, we thought we'd just take a quick look, as we did last week, at some of the great shots that appear on the Snapmatic feed on the Social Club. Dan hasn't seen these, so reactions are going to be live. Dan, your impressions of this first one.
Okay, well, we've got like the top 20 of the recent weeks. The first one is a man who snapped his spine and head and is bleeding from his neck. So
I just like the right angle of his legs. It's a very classy way to die. That
it looks like he's been a victim of some sort of Hulk-esque rampage.
Yeah.
So he looks dead, and it's an impressive, weird bit of physics.
Yeah.
The next one. Hi boy! My first reaction to this was almost like, weirdly, is this some kind of picture?
I know, it looks well, it is a picture, but you mean photograph?
Yeah, a photograph of real life.
Yeah, it looks. I selected it because I thought it looked, just the lighting was beautiful on it, and it just goes to show like what incredible facial models they've got.
Pretty much chose it for the lighting, Tim. I'm sure.
I did, yeah. It was all
that's
for the lighting.
Why you chose it. And
Dan, your impressions of this next shot.
It's Trevor taking a dump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know where is that from one of the character switches, maybe, or
I think it's probably.
Does Trevor just nip off to take a little dump?
I'm not sure.
Is Trevor next to a dumpster taking a dump?
Yeah.
Well done, Trevor. So, in many ways, it's a poetic image.
Meta.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at this shot.
Yeah.
The silhouettes of the palm trees. The thing is with GTA 5's lighting is that it makes it very, very easy to take beautiful sunset and sunrise photographs.
Yeah, I think this looks stunning, and I was playing just last night and out in Sandy Shores on Trevor's airfield, and like as the sun was coming down at like sort of 5 p.m ish, you just start to think, God, there's even a different ambience out in the sticks than there is in the city, and that's part of the beauty and the magic of GTA 5, really. So I'm sure that'll be shattered when we go to the next image.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. It's Franklin with a cow impaled and elevated on a forklift. Yeah,
It's Franklin getting into the spirit of country life.
Franklin working for a reputable fast food manufacturer, no doubt.
Yeah.
And acquiring the crops. Oh, look at that!
Yeah. I just thought the light was really interesting on this one.
It looks like you expect like Jesus to come out of the portal or
like
something.
some sort of God's finger touching the sky.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece of timing.
Yeah, really nice.
Good image. It's nice.
What do you reckon on that?
Yeah, good bit of miming.
Yeah, it's nice. Just touching his head. Look.
Again, that just looks a really nice piece of alignment and framing.
Yeah.
But yeah, great picture. Also, good choice of Franklin beard.
Yeah. Another beautiful landscape.
Little picture of Skyrim here.
Do you know that's exactly what I thought? I thought it looked exactly like Skyrim. That's why I selected it.
It's the desolate trees, the mountainsides, little sneaky peek of sun. Yeah, it's beautiful. Hello. What am I looking at? Hello. There he is.
It's pretty good. This I like this one. It's I don't know whether it's a technical glitch or whether it's just a great piece of framing, but it's a bodiless Franklin hiding in a bush.
Yeah, it's Frankie in his bush costume. Yeah, now don't ask me this next one. I say, how's he done that? I actually did this the other day.
Right.
But by flipping the car in a really weird way off a bit of scenery, watching it spin, and mine landed like a spike vertically in the tree, and I remember like being in the steering seat. What's it called? This driving seat, and they're like, moving the wheels around and revving. You go, I'm never getting out. You can wiggle the stick, but you can't get out.
Yeah.
So he's admitted defeat, slipped out of the steering seat, and he stood below giving it the gang sign.
Yeah.
So respect to him.
Now, what is this?
Well, we know what this is because we've solved this mystery on the channel, and you can see an extended video and probably a link on screen right now. But this is the ghost relating to the murder from what's his name, the right-wing politician in GTA 5,
Jock
Cranley. Yeah, this is the part of the Cranley murders, and you can go to a certain location at a certain time of day. It's all in the video link, and you can see this ghost on the edge of the pier. You can use your sniper or your camera to get close, but if you go too close, it dematerialises.
Right.
But it's another one of GTA 5's little Easter eggs, a little bit like the Thelma and Louise Easter egg.
Yeah.
Hopefully also linked on screen right now.
How about that for a piece of timing?
Whoosh. Is that like a...
I don't know.
Well, you can... It's clearly a chopper getting blown up.
Oh yeah, no, it is a chopper getting blown up.
But what would be brilliant is if you couldn't see the end of the chopper. It almost looks like an angry red mushroom cloud, almost like a face with the mouth and two eyes.
Yeah, I must admit, Dan, when I
dreams.
selected that picture, I didn't necessarily expect that reaction from you.
I thought it was like the equivalent of a psych test, when you give me the Rorschach test, yeah, but with exploding orange mushrooms. Either way, good piece of timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Possibly
A
one of the
glitch.
old let's get physical glitches.
Yeah.
Or a pedestrian has been the victim of a callous katana attack.
Yeah.
And has kept his eyes open.
A heinous attack.
He's been like cubed like that guy in the Resident Evil film.
Yeah.
Harsh.
That's a nice piece of timing, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. A guy with like burnt, again, mime artist lips with a humongous explosion.
Could be that mime artist from earlier. Maybe this is what he does in his time off.
He's taken off his makeup and he's gone into the danger zone.
Another
look at that.
Another nice landscape shot.
Look at that. Bit of fishing, isn't it? Big old bass fishing.
Yeah.
Like that.
He looks like the character looks like he's letting one go as well.
Squeak. Well, you're relaxed, aren't you?
He's relaxed out in the country.
That's what happens.
It's a vertical motorbike.
Oh man, That's one of those motorbike trees they've got in Los Santos now,
you
isn't
have
it?
to look a couple of times to make sure you're seeing it properly. But yes, that is a vertical motorbike.
God, what a weird image.
Not
Amazing.
vertical, horizontal.
Yeah.
I should really get my vertical horizontal right.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the key thing here is that Michael's grown a great beard.
Yeah.
Were it not for the fat lady impaled on the ATM, clearly dead.
Yeah.
Again, more great physics. Nice fun snap. That's a great look for Michael. He looks kind of like a sort of Eric Cantona, should he have used more Just for Men on his beard.
Yeah.
You can look up Eric Cantona.
He looks quite kindly with that beard, I think.
Kindly, I think he looks maybe like a sort of, Just for Men Father Christmas.
It's like summer Father Christmas, when Father Christmas doesn't dye his beard white, because I'm sure that's what he does in the winter. Nice shot. Again, beautiful reflection off the waves.
Yeah.
GTA simply can't look bad in the evening.
It just looks beautiful. I mean, that's just a great shot and makes me want to play GTA 5.
How about that, Dan?
How the shiznit has he done that?
I don't know.
Amazing. Must have come off the roof on a BMX, doing a little flip-de-flip, loop-the-loop. Yeah, nice. Good shot.
Last one.
Wowzer.
There you go.
Oh, my
Some
God.
cars lined up.
So is he... He's winched up?
Winched them up, yeah.
What a meticulous piece of work that truly is. Whether that's done... Is that do you think a shot from online, or is that a shot from...
I don't know.
Either way, he's got an awful lot of cars onto the roof of what is that, the Maze Bank?
Yeah.
Impressive. It's the sort of thing that doesn't need to exist, but you're sort of glad that it does.
Yeah. So there we are, 20 shots from Snapmatic this week. Dan, let's move on and talk about last week's New York Comic Con, where Trevor, Michael and Franklin all appeared on a panel. And you wanted to talk about Infinite 8 first, didn't you?
Oh, just two quickies. Yeah, people are always asking about the conspiracy theory. No, we haven't found the jetpack. Yes, people are looking. You will see on screen somebody sent in a link to... this is one of many people who've sent links, so sorry if we haven't used yours. Different murals different glimpses from the mural spotted on Mount Chiliad, spotted in various locations on Mount Chiliad. Here's a video of one of them. Again, we're sort of struggling to piece it together. The consensus now seems to be that surely it makes more sense for the mural to be placed sort of on the mountain so that the cable car line runs through the central line of the mural itself. But either way, we haven't got a breakthrough. I had a very interesting tweet from a guy who I couldn't really verify it. He just said, again, this might be lies, he said, the art director of GTA 5 came into my school the other day and said they only put the mural in to F with everyone.
Right.
But to me that seems slightly oblique, and it's none of that's verified, and it could just be some kid pretending, or it could be, actually true. But either way, we have found a load of very definite UFOs which seem to tie in, so I'm not entirely convinced. There clearly is stuff to find in the game. The second thing we've got a really nice video showing the location of all 8 bodies relating to the Infinite 8 killer, which again, if you're not up to speed with it, check the link on screen right now. There's a big video on the site talking about it. What's interesting is that is it MPX Gaming had said that they'd linked this to one of the videos or films shown in the world where there's a mad scientist who builds robot monster, and the robot monster's first words are pieces of 8, pieces of 8. And they're saying that is the Infinite 8 killer's activities either is it a person trying to create a Frankenstein's monster person out of different bodies,
right,
or is it an alien bringing together 8 human body pieces for some other means?
Right.
Completely unverified, fun theory. I like that kind of stuff. Keep it coming. But the big thing today, Tim, Comic-Con.
So, yeah, as I was saying, Trevor, Michael and Franklin, or the actors that played them, appeared at New York Comic-Con last week in a panel hosted by the guy from IGN. And they came out with some really interesting stuff, Dan. We had a watch of it. You noted down a few things they chatted about.
Yeah, loads of cool stuff. I mean, the biggest thing, Tim and I were talking about off air, is that not only do they obviously look exactly like their in-game characters, they obviously sound exactly like their in-game characters. So it's like watching them live in the flesh, which is quite freaky and quite weird. It is.
I said that to you and then realised how ridiculous it sounded. But I watched it and I thought, God, he sounds just like Michael. And I know that sounds preposterous, but it just goes to show that the performance is not like some pantomime performance. It's actually he's using his vocals, he's using his sort of traits and his kind of little things to kind of really bring his character into Michael, into Trevor, rather than perhaps Trevor kind of going into him. Because I actually thought, you can't tell much from a panel, but I actually thought that Michael, the guy who played Michael, Ned Luke, was, in his mannerisms and everything, was quite a lot like Michael, and that makes sense because they were obviously mocapped and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk a bit about this more if we get into it, but I mean, he did say that, as in part of the panel was him admitting that in his actual career as an actor, and he'd been kind of to an extent, a kind of bit part actor in various episodes of CSI and things like that, and he said himself that he'd been acting for 28 years and had reached almost effectively a midlife crisis, much like Michael, and said that he'd taken himself out of acting for a bit, like put a halt on his career, because he said that there was only so many fathers of kidnapped children he could play. And said that he'd taken time out, gone back to his hometown, kind of given up the acting game, and then got a call to come back into acting with GTA 5. Couldn't, wait to see what it was. Took up the challenge, loved it, completely ignited again. But it's a weird echo of Michael's story, really. So if that is genuinely the case, to be reading a script for a middle-aged man in the thrall of a crisis being called back into a world he thought he'd left behind, it's unbelievable. It really is a mirror script of who he is.
What was interesting was actually he said he got given the script and he was like, I'm not doing a video game. I'm absolutely not doing a video game. But he said he read the script and thought and was blown away by it. And the script, he said, was, I can't remember if it was him who said it or Stephen Ogg, the guy who played Trevor. They said it was like 3,500 pages long.
Yeah.
Which is staggering when you consider.
It's incredible length for a script.
I don't know how long an average script is. Probably like 120 pages probably. So you're talking about a staggeringly big script.
And it's interesting, we've talked on the show about, would they use celebrity voices? No, they didn't. And Rockstar went on record saying we're probably finished with that degree of celebrity interaction and that depth we used to have, like having Ray Liotta in Vice City. And then when you hear the actors talk, like Ned Luke was talking, and you realise quite how punishing the schedule was. And they worked, the three of them, on GTA 5 for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. And like Sean Fontana, who plays Franklin, was saying, well, essentially, what we do is we'd film 3 weeks non-stop in mocap in New York. I go back to LA for a month to recharge my batteries, come back and do another 3 weeks. We said effectively we did do a solid 18 months out of 3 years of work. Now, can you imagine what it would cost to pay Samuel L. Jackson for 3 years of his life?
It does beg the question, and we'll never find out, but it does beg the question how much they make out of this as an actor. Given that we know, quite how wealthy someone like the Houses are, given they bought the £10 million house in Brooklyn or whatever it was, I'd be interested to find out how much they earn, whether they earn like a standard wage for doing the game, or whether it's dependent on how long it takes or how long they spend in the studio. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I think what would be really interesting is whether they're on the same deal that, say, Alec Guinness got with the original Star Wars, where he waived a load of his fee for commercial rights. Because, if they said, look, I don't want that much money, but you give me a percentage of how well the game sells.
0.05% of how well it sells.
Like, it's done $1 billion or whatever, plus, you think, well, maybe that was the clever thing to do.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, I don't know how their deals are structured. That's kind of, for them, maybe it'll come out in some way in the fullness of time. But
what was interesting, Dan, was that they seem to be really close as people, as well as as characters and actors. They seem to have grown really close on the set of the game.
Yeah, the interaction and bonhomie between them seemed really genuine, and that's the thing that strikes you. And they did say themselves it's because essentially we've worked non-stop together for 3 years and we've grown and bonded together. But someone asked them, like when you first met, how was it? And essentially, certainly Stephen Ogg and Ned Luke said, well, this is Michael and Trevor both said, yeah, it was great. The vibe's always been good. He said it's not just the three of us. There's loads of other actors who are involved. Everyone's great. It's all been really good fun. Franklin was kind of funny, like Sean Fontana, who sort of went, he said, well, it might have been okay for you, but for me, in the first month, I was pretty unsure, and I kind of, had to make you guys like me and all this stuff. But it was kind of all done in this jokey way, and you felt like they were genuinely really getting on.
There seemed like a massive bond between Ned Luke and Sean Fonteno. They seem to have developed. Like, I think at one point Sean Fonteno says that Ned Luke was like the father he never had or something.
Yeah, he said exactly the things that the characters in the game say. He says, Stephen's like my brother, and Thingy is, Franklin is like my son. I thought that was really, really cute. They were talking about when they first started, like the things they liked. Now, again, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but Sean was saying, Ned likes Kenny Rogers. He says, we all like different things. He goes, Stephen likes some song from the baseball movie Moneyball. He says, none of them understood Jay-Z or Ice Cube, so he said, I had to bring them into this world and get them to understand this stuff. But yeah, they were saying, they said when they talked back about their memories, they said they thought the relationships were really real. They got lots of anecdotes about certain lunches they had and cool things they did. And just saying, how much they enjoyed it, how much fun it was, really.
They also talked a bit about how Sean Fonteno talked about how he's obviously the cousin of young Malay.
Oh, well, this is like maybe the huge bomb drop of the entire thing, right? Now, perhaps inadvertently, Sean Fonteno has confirmed, perhaps, that he will appear as Franklin in a piece of forthcoming DLC with CJ from San Andreas. Now, as weird luck would have it, he is in fact the real-life cousin of young Malay who played CJ. I mean, what? But yeah, again, DJ Pooh, who's the sort of the link behind the scenes with all these characters and is a DJ in GTA 5, is the one who brought them all together. And during the actual, the chat, someone asked, well, would you play characters in other games? Who would you want to be? Now, none of them are really gamers, certainly not Stephen Ogg in any way, shape or form. I'll get to his answer soon because it was funny. But yeah, they asked Franklin, and he said, well, I've got something in the pipeline with my cousin, young Malay. And then everyone was like, whoa, and it was like audible like gasps. Ned Luke looked a little bit like he'd been frozen in the rain and a bit worried, like clearly a bit, oh my God, what have we said? Yeah. And sort of, then they sort of try to joke it off, and then, Sean Fonteno went like, no, not in the game, in real life.
Yeah.
But to me, it rang a little bit hollow, like he dropped a boo-boo.
Yeah.
Now, given as well that we know that when we went to see Leslie Benzies in Edinburgh, and he talked about the future of GTA Online, and he said, well, we've got a lot of old content that essentially is waiting to go. They haven't forgotten the past. I just can really see that. I could see that being a thing. Yeah,
I mean, they just to underline, they vociferously denied that it was he vociferously denied that it was anything to do with a game. But unless it's some sort of music project or something,
it could be. I just think when he sort of clocked that maybe dropped a boo-boo, he did go, nah, we got something else coming up. It was like a lower tone, like he'd sort of, whether he was trying to let off a hint or not. Yeah, hey, who knows? We'll see. But it would definitely be a really cool piece of DLC. I really like them when they asked the other two characters who they want to play in games, and neither of them are really characters. So Ned Luke said, I want to be Mario, or Mario, whatever he said.
Mario. Yeah.
He got some jump on or whatever. And then Stephen Ogg said, I don't know, the blue ghost in Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was pretty funny. And again, they were just saying he always likes to play the villain.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. They also asked Stephen Ogg, how did he prepare for Trevor? And I think this sort of gave him away a little bit. It's always the way with sort of the best nutcases tend to be, closet indie stroke thespian types.
Yeah.
Where his inspiration came from, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, a guy called Matthias Schulnar, who did a thing called Bullhead, something called Rust and Bone that I've certainly never seen. And he said, well, these are like pretty obscure indie movies.
Yeah.
And he also said, I looked at Tom Hardy, who's probably most famously known as Bane in the Batman film. It was Tom Hardy in Bronson.
Yeah, his Bronson performance is pretty manic-eyed.
Yeah, so I mean that was a bit of Trevor's inspiration, but the greatest moment probably was when some guy in the crowd said, I'd like Trevor to swear at me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm going to say the swear live on air, but the guy goes, yeah, hi, I'm Diego. I'd like Trevor to come and swear at me and say, go F yourself. And like Trevor went quiet and thought about it. And then he got out of his seat, stormed on over to where the guy was and goes, go F yourself! And like everyone in the crowd completely cracked up. Utterly brilliant. I even loved it at the start when like they first introduced Franklin or Sean Fontano, and he sort of went slinging dope and throwing up gang signs, and he was like just saying it exactly in character, and all the crowd went woo, because it was just really exciting just to see them totally in character and doing it.
One interesting thing I thought was when they were talking about how the script, which is obviously, as people will know, you know, even Rockstar New York, where it's sort of the centre of the operation, is run by British people. Houses are British. I think their head writer's British. And he was saying that there were a lot of... who was saying it? I think it was Stephen Ogg was saying that there were a lot of Britishisms in the script. And Sean Fontano had an interesting thing to say about it.
Oh yeah, well, Sean Fontano said they kept trying to get him to say mate.
Yeah, like
mate.
That really authentic gang language.
And pronounce his T's and things, and he was like, I'm not doing any of that stuff, and I wouldn't. Where conversely, Stephen Ogg, who's got English relations, and
his mum's English.
He's got cousins still here in the UK, and he was saying that he thought it was quite amusing that Trevor would say, I'm going to take a shit in the loo. So I think that worked quite well for him. So I think he quite liked that. But even, you know, Michael Ned Luke was saying that he found it weird reading the script because it was so British in its tone. And he said that what he liked was he was given the freedom to ad-lib things in the way he wanted to. And as an artist, it's quite a nice creative thing to be let off the leash.
Yeah. A few other things then, Dan. Sean Fontano talked about Lamar, the real-life Lamar.
Yeah, he said Slink, he said he's brilliant in real life. He's exactly like Lamar as you see him, which seems to be the tone for the entire thing. Just play yourself. He said there wasn't a scene that Lamar wasn't in that he didn't steal. Like, he was basically brilliant. He talked about Jimmy and what a good performance he did. This is even weirder. I like this. In real life, Ned Luke's wife is a yoga instructor.
Right.
Which is unbelievable. Now, so he particularly said, they asked all of them, what's your favourite line in the game? And he said his favourite was, when Fabian goes, Namaste. And Michael goes, Namaste, go fuck yourself, or Nama, go fuck yourself. So, like, I think, he really liked that line. I also liked it because it sounded like it had been stolen in the best line from Argo.
Yeah.
But never mind, still a good line.
Yeah. He's also playing the game, Ned Luke.
Yeah, he said, he claimed, I don't know if he's fibbing, he said he's 60% of the way in, he's played for 100 hours, he's going through and going to all the question marks. Whether he's been told to say this, I don't know. What was obvious is Stephen Ogg has got no idea how to play games. He said when he first was shown GTA 5, he couldn't even move the character and he walked straight into a wall. He had to get one of the producers to load the game for him. And he said 3 years on, he still can't move the character. He's clearly got no interest. He's clearly a closet thespian.
Yeah.
Indie guy. He's into the acting. That's the end of it. And Sean Fontano just said, I'm playing it. I'm a few missions in. I'm kind of trying to hoover up the world. Who knows what his level of commitment is. I don't care. They've done a great bit of voiceover. It's good. Again, talking about the overlap, Sean Fontano just said basically, for me, I'm an ex-gang member, I'm an ex-criminal, it's easy for me to play this character. I don't know how true that actually is, but it sounded fairly authentic. Ned Luke's coming back as a guy who'd given up on acting and now comes back and is almost playing himself in game. I don't think in real life Stephen Ogg is Trevor.
Yeah.
He told an amusing story about channeling Trevor in his everyday life, where he was saying that during filming they were having to wake up really early. And he said he'd be at the tube station at 5:30am when it'd be super busy. And he said he'd be sat on a crowded tube carriage and he could feel the Trevor rage bubbling. I thought that was quite sweet.
And then finally, apparently it's a love story.
Yeah, it's quite sweet. And they asked what does GTA 5 mean to you? And Ned Luke said, for me, GTA 5 is a love story. Whether it's a love story amongst the characters, I thought it was maybe not how I describe GTA 5, but it's a cute reading of GTA 5.
Okay, so some interesting stuff at New York Comic Con. Dan, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it for this week. Only to plug all the great videos on our YouTube channel. Link should be on the screen. Please subscribe. We've got an amazing guide to all the cars and their values in GTA Online, which is a great way to get cash quick. We've had guides to all the knife flights and under the bridge missions just in the last week. We've got a full, complete gold medal playlist of all the core missions in the game. We've got all 5 rampages, so basically every solution and video guide you need, we've got you covered on CVG. Please click on the link. Follow us on @GTAVOclock for all the updates. We've also got a Facebook page, facebook.com/GTAVOclock. which is another great way to get in touch with like-minded GTA fans. Now, I do want to plug, because there's going to be, I think, a sad note to this announcement. I want to plug our live play this week. It's really important that you do try and play with us. We're going to play Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. BST. It's going to be a big occasion. Why, Tim?
Because it's going to be the last ever GTA 5 o'clock I ever do, Dan. Because I am off to pastures new. So yeah, this is a very sad moment for me, because I've been doing this Wednesday show with Dan for a year now.
Good God! And
I've had an amazing time doing it. But yeah, I'm leaving. I'm flying the coop.
Yeah, well, I'm in blanket denial about it. I'm pretty sad. Yeah, it's been an amazing year. It's been like, I think neither of us could have anticipated the warmth of the reaction to the show, the overwhelming response, the number of views. We've had in a year over 12 million plus views, hundreds of thousands of new subscribers to the channel, some incredible comments, some absolutely frightening and terrible comments. But generally the reaction's been good, and it means a lot that people have responded so warmly to our speculation, our analysis, our fun. We've had some exceedingly complimentary things said. It was wonderful to go to Edinburgh together to
amazing.
Catch up with the crew there, and it was really nice to see that they appreciate what we've done. And we've had some really great fun. I've especially enjoyed doing a lot of our how brackets not to videos, where we've been messing around and trying to do certain things. And maybe, I'm not saying it's something I'll hold to my grave, maybe not, but maybe you'll look back in a few years and go, damn, they were good times, you know? They were silly good times.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo Dan, and Dan will obviously still be here, but I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who's listened to the show and to everything else we've done over the past year. I'm really sad that it's coming to an end, but I'll definitely be listening to Dan and James talking more about the game as we go on. It'll be good for me because I'll get to play in my new life. I'll get to play more GTA 5 than I can at the moment, which will be good. So yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to my new journey, my new life, but at the same time really sad about leaving. Thank you to everyone out there for being with us over the past year.
Yeah. So if you'd like to wish Tim off, do join us on the live stream Thursday, 4 p.m. BST. What's that? I always get confused, Tim. Tell me
4 p.m. BST, Dan, is 11 a.m.
Yes.
New York East Coast time, and 8 a.m. Pacific time, he says.
Who's going to get the times right for me without Tim here? I can have my breakdown later. We're going to have, obviously, James, the producer on GTA 5 O'Clock, will be pitching in with me. We'll have Andrew Kelly, who's reviewed the game with us. We'll have Mr. Trophy on board. All your regulars, favourites or least favourites, depending how you look at them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for me, it's an intensely sad moment. But do come and join us on Thursday. Wish Tim well. And if you really want to wish Tim well, something that he's probably too modest to say is that Tim writes books, lovely books, about crime and various different things. So do seek out Tim's books on Google and buy them. Show your thanks with your money. Buy Tim's books.
Thanks, Dan, for that plug.
That's all right.
Here's that tenner I promised.
Yeah, and here's the tenner. I will be checking on that later.
Yeah.
So, but more than that, come on Thursday, say goodbye to him, wish him well. Please don't abuse him. Abuse me. I'm here for the punching bag stick. But yeah, sad times, but a lot to look forward to in the world of GTA 5.
So for the last time, thank you for listening. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.